On 3rd May 2023, within 24 hours, 300 houses were burned down, 6 people were shot dead, a minister's house was set on fire, and hundreds of properties vandalized. It was the darkest 24 hours in the history of Manipur. 5 districts, Churachandapur, Bishnupur, Imphal West and Imphal East and Kangpokpi were the worst affected ones. There are mainly 4 reasons why Manipur burst into episodes of violence. In this video, we will deal with all these 4 reasons and we will also look into opinions of both Meiteis and Kukis. But before that, if you believe in flexible and affordable learning, subscribe to Paper Learn. Learn as you need and pay as you go. Events unfolding. A protest was launched on 3rd May in Torbung area of Churachandapur. This protest was launched by All Tribal Students Union Manipur. It was launched to express dissent against a Meitei community's demands for ST status. At first, the protest was peaceful. It came under the slogan, "Come now, let us reason together." But suddenly some armed mob attacked the people of Meitei community and violence escalated. At least 70 people were killed, 200 injured, 48,000 people fled the area and more than 1 lakh religious institutions and homes were burned down. This was just a start. What happened on 4th May will tear everyone's heart. 2 women from Kukizo community were paraded naked along the streets of Senapati district. This happened because of a fake news that circulated the internet of a rape and murder of a Meitei woman. By the time the fake news could be controlled, it already leashed a deadly cycle of revenge and retaliation between Kuki and Meitei. Within 48 hours, the state turned red with violence, and in response the state government had to clamp curfew, shut down the internet and give shoot-at-sight orders to deter violent mobs from killing and looting. Reasons for conflict. The reservation angle. In the heart of Manipur, the Meitei community has long aspired to gain the scheduled tribe status. Their demand dates back to 1981 when Rishang K. Singh, the then chief minister, first voiced it. However, despite persistent efforts, the status remained elusive. By 1995, the Meitei were granted other backward classes status, but this was not inclusive of all. 2 subgroups within the Meitei, Chakpas and Thobul, had already been recognized as scheduled caste in 1956, which further complicated their claim. Illegal encroachments. While the Meitei fought for recognition, a growing resentment brewed with the Kukizo community. The Kukis' dissatisfaction wasn't merely about reservation, but stemmed from a deep-seated frustration with the state government. Under Chief Minister Biren Singh, the Manipur government started land surveys claiming that illegal immigrants from Myanmar had encroached on reserved forest areas. But without following proper procedure as laid down in the Manipur Legislative Assembly, Biren Singh government declared parts of hills as reserved and protected forests and wetland reserves. All land ownership documents within these areas were cancelled. These surveys led to the forced eviction of many Chin refugees whom the Kukis regarded as part of their own tribe. Since the evictions were mostly carried out in non-Naga areas, the Kukis saw this act as a direct attack on their community. War on drugs. In 2017, when Manipur government launched War on Drugs campaign, the government identified as closed down many illegal poppy cultivation in many districts. The campaign was not exclusively targeted to one community but was spread over many communities including Meitei. But this destruction of poppy cultivation was perceived by Kukis as an act of depriving them of livelihood because affected cultivators never received compensation from the government. The Kukiland issue. By 2022, tensions reached a tipping point. The government, viewing the illegal poppy trade as intertwined with the Kuki National Army and encouraged by illegal migrants, unilaterally withdrew from the suspension of operations agreement on March 10. This move shattered the hope that Kukis had held since peace talks began in 2016. Many believed that their dream of a separate Kukiland might finally be realized, a hope that had propelled them to support the ruling BJP in the 2022 elections. Suspiciously, on March 24, the state government removed the Armed Forces Special Power Act selectively only from the Imphal Valley, even though the Kuki insurgent groups were in peace talks with the center, while the Meitei insurgent groups were still active in the Imphal Valley and they were outside any process of negotiation for peace. In retrospect, this was seen by the Kuki-Zo tribals as a partition move. The Kuki demand for a separate state is not a recent development. As far back as 1960, the Kukis opposed a system of electing village chiefs, arguing that it undermined their traditional leadership structures. Over time, 23 insurgent groups from Kuki, Zo, Meitei and Mar communities united under the banners of the Kuki National Organization and the United People's Front. In 2008, they signed the suspension of operation agreement with the Union and Manipur governments. However, peace remained elusive as the KNO sought a separate Kuki state while the UPF demanded a state within a state under Article 244A of the Indian Constitution. Recently, both groups seem to have settled on a compromise, the formation of a Kukiland Territorial Council. The geographical issue. The geography of Manipur, split between the Imphal Valley and surrounding hills, plays a crucial role in the conflict. While the valley where the Meiteis reside covers only 10% of Manipur's land, it houses 53% of the population. Meanwhile, the hills, spanning 90% of the land, are home to the Naga and the Kuki tribes, who constitute 41% of the population. The Meitei feel cornered, arguing that despite being the majority, they are confined to a small portion of land. They claim they are being squeezed further as tribespeople protected under Article 371C buy land in the valley, while the Meiteis are prohibited from purchasing land in the hills. Adding to their anxiety is the influx of outsiders, including illegal migrants from Bangladesh and Myanmar. The Meitei argue that to preserve their ancestral land, traditions and culture, they need the protection of ST status. The biased opinions. The conflict in Manipur is now viewed as state's failure in law and order. Adding to it was the issue of biased opinions circulated around media. Manipur's media was totally divided on ethnic lines. As you can see, the list explains how print, broadcast and radio was divided among ethnic lines. There were extreme pressures on the journalists to represent their ethnic lines. Amidst conflict, the central government did not impose president's rule in the state, and yet the governor issued shoot-at-sight orders. The Union Home Minister created a unified command, reporting to the Chief Minister. He also had Assam Rifles and Manipur Police reporting under him. The Chief Minister announced that while he and the Manipur Police would be responsible for law and order in the valley, the Union Home Minister Amit Shah had assured him that he would ensure peace in the hills along Assam Rifles. This led to two uncoordinated security systems operating in two places. As people in the valley pointed fingers at Kuki militant groups' attack on Meiteis, the Kukis and hills alleged that police sided with Meiteis and provided mobs with arms to render violence in the Kuki-dominated areas. The Meiteis were unhappy with the parachute journalism of the national press. They believe that the mainstream media have portrayed the ethnic conflict as a religious one and pitted the Hindu Meiteis against the Christian Kuki-Zos, which was far away from reality. So what do you feel about the never-ending violence in Manipur? Comment down below your opinions on how we can find a peaceful way forward.